fact, around the country are hungry for boxing action, and tonight we've got what you're looking for. It's time for Ballroom Boxing. Hi again, everybody. I'm Larry Michael. Great to be back with my main man, Jon Saraceno, at Michael's 8th Avenue. And you know, tonight, Jon, a special buzz in the room. I can feel it. What's going on here tonight?
Well, there's definitely electricity here, Larry. We've got sports personalities from past and present, but there's a big rumble we're waiting for tonight.
Yeah, we have a big rumble tonight. The main event, Darnell Wilson, the Dingling Man, against Dana Rucker. Both can fight. Both want to win. The Maryland title is on the line, but you know, Jon, there are some other issues that might be overriding.
That's right, Larry. Before Darnell Wilson's last fight, Dana Rucker greeted him in the dressing room, and he thought he paid him a compliment. Apparently, Darnell didn't think so. They had a few little words in there. That was carried over after the fight when Dana Rucker went into the ring after Darnell Wilson won and challenged him to this fight. And there was more talk this week on talk radio shows. I think it's mostly good-natured ribbing, but there is an undercurrent of discord between the two fighters.
And as usual, it's more than just the main event in Ballroom Boxing. When we return, the first fight is in the ring. Buckle up. It's time for Ballroom Boxing.
Ballroom Boxing is brought to you by Toyota, by Budweiser, the king of beers, by Michael's 8th Avenue, a host for grand occasions, and by BallroomBoxing.com. Got some middleweights in the ring, Ariel Espinal and Ismail Arvin. Let's take a look at them with John Scheinman. John.
You know, Larry, we had Ishmael Arvin's first 3 fights of his career were here in the ballroom, and I wasn't really able to get a good handle on what kind of prospect this was. I mean, he came away with victories, but he really didn't distinguish himself. In his last fight, he blew away Danielle Craycraft in 1 round. I mean, it was so impressive, and now I'm beginning to think Arvin is a really live prospect. And here against Ariel Espinel, whose head looks like it's carved like a coral reef, we've heard he's a very tough customer. This is going to be another opportunity for the fans to get a look at Ishmael Arvin. I think it's one of the brightest prospects in the area.
Thank you, John. You know, Jon Saraceno, this is one of those ballroom boxing matchups that could go either way.
Based on what John just said, let's get going. I want to see the fight.
Let's do it. Come on, Pat O'Malley. Let's get it on.
Introducing the boxers. First to my right, out of the blue corner, wearing the gold and black trunks, weighing 157.5 pounds. He is from Brooklyn, New York, with a record of 4-1-1. Please welcome Iron Ariel Espinal. To my left, out of the right corner, wearing the black and white trunks, weighing 157.5 pounds. He is from Baltimore, Maryland, with a record 4-0-1, 4 via the KO. Please welcome Ishmael Arvin.
Ismail Arvin, the hometown favorite here in the ballroom, but he's got a tough competitor in front of him tonight, John. Bill Holmes with the instructions. And you know what? His head does look like a coral reef. What does that matchup look like, Jon Saraceno?
Arvin Espinal. The big number you see is the linear reach and fight reach. And that is in Arvin's favor. Espinal's got to overcome that.
Both men, young men. Arvin 27, Espinal 25. Both men have been active this year, so this should be a great fight. Arvin in the black trunks with a white trim. And in the gold and black is Espinal. This fight is scheduled for 6 rounds tonight in the ballroom. Good body shot there by Espinal. Good news for ballroom boxing fans. Even if you leave the country, you have a shot at seeing ballroom boxing. Available worldwide now. How about that, John? In the Mideast, in Asia, in Europe, in Africa, ballroom boxing is worldwide. And to the armed forces watching around the world, stay safe, folks. You're doing a great job. Larry Michael with Jon Saraceno. We're in Glen Burnie, Maryland, and this is the ballroom.
Well, right off the bat, you see the size advantage for Arvin. He's got a reach advantage, tall, rangy boxer. Espinel's got to find a way to get on the inside to be effective.
Espinal talking to him in tight. Left hand by Arvin found the mark there, and Espinal looking to counter with the right.
I tell you what, Espinal's got quick hands too. And he's got courage. You can see he's willing to fight you.
Straight left by Arvin, and the head work inside. The head of Espinal becoming a factor. John, how do you figure, how long did it take him to have that done with his hair? I mean, that's probably the most complicated haircut I've ever seen.
Looks like a maze, like where you have to start in one part and then figure how to get out of off his head on another part.
Well, you go try that.
No thanks.
You see Espinal looking to counter, taking a step back and looking to fire right back.
Well, Espinal's had a good opening round here, I think. He's given Arvin different looks.
Pretty even fight in this first round. Once again, this fight is scheduled for 6 rounds.
Good quick right hand by Espinal. And he's been willing to counterpunch and lead in this fight. But again, he's on the outside.
Step back on a break.
He's lunging with some of those punches, leaving himself exposed for a possible counter. Arvin's trying to box and punch from the outside.
Good body shot by Arvin. A thumping body shot right to the pit of his stomach. See the forehead of Espinal has a little bit of a red mark right between the eyes. 2 men with fast hands. Something's going to give in this one. More coming up. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing. Larry Michael with Jon Saraceno in the ring right now. Ismail Arvin in the black trunks with a white trim going up against Ariel Espinal in the gold and black. John Scheinman with us as well. And you know, these two guys, Jon Saraceno, equally matched. The hometown is behind the one guy, but the other guy, you know, sometimes it's not so bad when you're fighting away from home.
Well, sometimes you have less pressure on you going into another guy's town. You just let it hang out. And in the first round, Espinal showed he was a game fighter. He's doing a lot of jawing in there with
He really
Arvin.
is. I'm not so sure that's a good move. Arvin talking to him right back on the inside. So,
well, that's not going to win the fight. First of all, we know that. He's not going to intimidate Arvin doing that. I never think it's a good sign when you see a guy jawing in the ring. I agree.
And you can see the right hand of Espinal is a pretty lethal weapon, while the left hook of Arvin is his punch.
Well, Arvin has tried to sneak in some long right hands. He really hasn't been able to find the target all that often. As you see, Espinal continuing to retreat, move, hold, and vary his style of fighting.
See Espinal really breathing heavily, and we're just in the second round, John.
And that might have been from some of those body shots that you talked about in that first round. Maybe also why he's doing a little bit more retreating, because when the fight started, he came right to Arvin.
You feel the tempo beginning to go Arvin's way now in a big way.
Yeah, the tide is shifting here a little bit. Good left hook by Arvin on the inside made Espinal wince.
Bounced right off his dome.
Yeah, you're right. You can see Arvin beginning to take command of this fight. But he can't afford to get careless, because Espinal is still throwing with both hands. And there's that quick right hand over the top by Espinal.
He does have a quick right. It has a little bit of pop to it. And Espinal really talking, yapping away, and he's eating leather. There's a cut on Arvin's head.
Yep, that may have been from a butt, and that's in not a great spot for Arvin, right above the left eyebrow, or right along the left eyebrow.
Can't imagine it happened with the punch, John, because they did come together with heads. Maybe we got a shot of that a little bit later. Good solid right, and Espinal is hurt. Arvin has shocked him with that right hand as round 2 comes to a close. I don't think that cut is so bad that they would stop the fight, but they have work to do in the corner of Arvin. A lot of work in the corner of Arvin. Let's go into the corner, and it's former world champion Vincent Petway in the corner of Ismail Arvin, and they have not even begun to touch the cut on his eye. Can't imagine Vincent Petway is a qualified cut man, John.
Well, that's a good question. A lot of times fighters traveling. And there's the Maryland physician in his corner, and Petway doesn't really look like he's trying to stop the cut, but really our view is blocked because there's another corner man in there, and we can't tell what he's doing.
That's the famed trainer. Mac Lewis is on the outside of the ring. He probably should be on the inside, and he's reaching in to try to help out. I say it doesn't look like it's a terrible cut. It's not on his eyelid. It is above the brow.
But it's in a spot where the blood could conceivably drain into the eye.
Let's go, seconds, let's go.
In the corner of Arvin, really not getting it done, John.
They didn't really do a great job on that cut. They were late in getting it started trying to mend it. And let's see how quickly that thing breaks back open.
I mean, they wasted the first 20 seconds of the break doing nothing.
Good right hand.
Might not come down to the cut, though, because Arvin has some pop. He rocked Espinal at the end of the second round.
A good cut man is invaluable, and in big championships fights, important fighters do not have a good cut man. Although it's happened on occasion. I can think of some Mike Tyson fights where they probably didn't have necessarily the right guy working in the corner. The Buster Douglas
I remember the Buster Douglas fight when they had the water balloon of cold water instead of the end swell.
Yeah, and using a condom to put the ice in to apply to his face. So that was a mess that night.
Not exactly a professional corner.
But at the club show level, the trainer typically has to do a lot of things because, you know, money becomes a factor. And you see that cut has opened again, not bleeding profusely.
They forgot to put his mouthpiece in. He's been fighting all this time without the mouthpiece. Is that ridiculous or what?
Well, that just underscores the confusion that went along in his corner and tells you how important it is to have top flight cornermen and trainers. That's not to say these guys don't know boxing. Petway and Mac Lewis obviously do. But suddenly they had an emergency, and they really kind of lost their cool in the corner, and their roles were not defined clearly who was doing what. Consequently, he didn't get the proper attention quickly enough on the cut, and then he didn't get his mouthpiece in when he came back out.
Quickly to Jon Scheinman, have you ever seen something so disorganized in the corner, John?
Well, I mean, certainly with the one you guys pointed to, which was the Tyson-Buster Douglas fight, but I think that the cut doesn't look like it's hindering Ismail Arvin in any manner. Just a quick aside, I'm fairly certain under Maryland rules, since this was an unintentional butt, I didn't see it assigned to anyone as an intentional butt. If the fight does have to be stopped, I'll go to the scorecards.
A lot of blood from the nose of Espinal now. So both men are bleeding.
Espinal almost fighting desperately here, trying to survive and then just winging big right hands, maybe hoping to land one.
Arvin really beginning to bring it right to Espinal, scoring with some power shots.
I think Arvin senses he might be able to get Espinal out of there, that he's just too big, too strong for him.
Now Espinal switches to southpaw, try to switch things up on Arvin.
Arvin knows he should throw a lead right hand. It looks like he's looking for it, and he did. He missed, though, but he attempted it.
Round coming to a close. Action fight as expected here in the ballroom.
He switched up on him and went right hand and shot that right hand.
Another good round for Ismail Arvin. More to come. Looking back action from round 3. Nice combination as Espinal was in full retreat. Through 3 rounds, Jon Scheinman, who do you have winning this fight?
Ismail Arvin pushed ahead with the last round. I gave it to him. He's had 29-28 on my card. I gave Espinel the first. You know, I think Ismail Arvin's making this fight a little bit tougher for himself than he should have to, Larry. That's the kind of pressure he needs to apply. I think he should be steadily backing Espinel up with the jab. Stop trying to wing big, wide shots. Come forward and throw straight shots, and he'll get this guy out.
Nice left-right combination by Espinal.
Well, Arvin's got a good body punching attack when he chooses to use it, but he sees excuse me, Arvin does. But Arvin sees that Espinal is wearing down here a little bit, but still a game fighter. He's in it.
Espinal right in front of him, John. He's right there. And this has been a tight fight. Neither man has been down. Nice left-right combination again by Espinal, beating Arvin to the punch.
Well, he leaps in with that left-right combination at very unpredictable times. And a couple times he's caught Arvin.
Now Espinal is hurt up against the ropes, trying to turn it around. Boy, this fight going back and forth.
Chopping right hand on the inside there by Espinal.
Scheduled for 6 rounds. Espinal against the ropes, eats the right hand.
Ooh, lead right hand. Good move by Arvin.
And a left hook. Espinal can't afford to be up against the ropes, John.
Well, part of that's fatigue, too.
Now you see Espinal using that head again. The blood from the nose of Espinal has stopped flowing, and the cut above the left eye of Arvin has not been a factor.
You see Espinal just biding his time, looking for certain areas where he can land punches. He's not really fighting a steady, aggressive fight. He's really pot-shotting Arvin. It's really not working at this point.
Arvin has the quicks on him, John, right now. Let's see if it continues that way.
Well, Arvin is a more skilled fighter all around, and he does have a significant reach advantage. I'd like to see him use that jab a little bit more, and maybe go to Espinal's body, try to slow him down so he doesn't keep retreating in different directions.
Boy, both men just digging in, digging their toes in the canvas and pounding away.
Great, step back, step back. Okay, stop using the
They
head.
appear to have done a good job on that cut in between rounds, so they've rallied in the corner to help Arvin.
He's slowing down a little bit here, and maybe these guys getting a little bit tired.
Fight's been really waged at a torrid pace, Larry. Both fighters two-fisted attack. You see on the inside there, counter-punching. Hoping they can get the last lick in.
Both men scoring inside. More coming up in a moment. Action from the previous round, Ismail Arvin.
How sneaky he is with that left hand and the right hand right down the pipe.
That was Espinal on the counter. So right now, pretty tight fight, 2 rounds to go. Bill Holmes, the referee, John Saraceno, quickly the scorecard after 4.
Well, that last round was a slugfest, Larry, but I gave it to Arvin again. I just thought he did the better work inside. I have him had 39-37, 2 rounds to go.
All right.
It does look as if Arvin's built up a points lead, but this fight
Hard to call, John.
is undecided yet at this point. I mean, in terms of the fact that
from a scoring,
Espinal's running out of gas.
From a scoring standpoint, I think Arvin has scored more effective blows, but Espinal has had his moments in every round.
He has, but I don't think it's been enough to carry most rounds. I've only given him 1 round. And I don't know if he came into great shape into this fight, Larry. He seems like he's been sucking wind since the 2nd round. Came out and fought a terrific 1st round.
Catching Arvin on the inside, however.
And he's still winging.
These are tough moments in these fights because Arvin is taking some shots there.
Wow, Bill Holmes almost got it.
We don't want to see that happen.
From Espinal, when he came in to break him up, Espinal whizzed an uppercut. And Arvin can't afford to play Espinal cheap at this point. I think Espinal's a dangerous fighter right now.
I think he is. His legs might not be all there, but if he can connect, he's still got some power.
Question is if he can connect, because he's really throwing shots one at a time and he's telegraphing them.
Oh, they're prayers, no doubt about that.
Right, and Arvin is the kind of fighter, I don't know if he's going to get hit with that. He should be on his P's and Q's defensively right now, figuring he's got a points lead. Now,
down goes Espinal. That was a push and a slip combination.
And it tells you his legs aren't necessarily all there either. A lot of brawling on the inside now. Mauling tactics by Arvin and Ishmael, Arvin and Espinel both.
Arvin really picking up the pace here. Espinal hurt, he's rocked, the legs buckle. See if Arvin can finish him.
He almost ended up on your lap.
Almost. What's keeping Espinal up right now?
Bill Holmes got to watch this. Oh.
The uppercut puts him down.
If he's smart, he doesn't get up.
Good combination by Ismail. Arvin ends it in the 5th round.
And that's how you punctuate a fight, because Arvin, there's the winner right there. You saw him break down Espinal round after round, wore him down, and then began landing those power shots in the 5th round. Finished the job.
Espinal is okay, but the flurry came in the 5th round, and Espinal got tagged repeatedly. Let's see how this fight ended.
You see a two-fisted attack by Arvin in the black trunks.
Really, Espinal's okay right here, has not been tagged. That might be the first punch that sent it downhill.
It was a left hook, and you saw Espinal grabbing there to hold on. He's not able to do it effectively. Now you're going to see some big blows land. The right hand really hurt Espinal there.
This is where you said he almost fell in our lap, and he did, but watch the right uppercut coming up here. Gonna come again.
Good camera work. It's like you're right in the ring, and there's the right hand that finally felled Espinal.
It rocked Espinal's world, that's for sure. The end comes in the 5th round. You've got to Pat O'Malley for the official time of the knockout.
The winner by KO at 2:06 of round 5, Ishmael Arvin.
So Ismail Arvin is the winner, a knockout in round 5 tonight here in the ballroom. More ballroom boxing coming up in a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back to the ballroom. Impressively, Ismail Arvin victorious in the 5th round. Another look at the knockout, Jon Saraceno.
Well, Arvin throwing combination punches and landing more often than not. There's that vicious right hand. You see what kind of trouble Espinal was in. He tried to weather the storm, but really Arvin was in a good position because Arvin had plenty of gas left in the tank, and you saw the kind of abuse and punishment that Espinal had taken all night. And as Arvin continued to punch away here, he's going to set him up for a big right hand, and that's going to spell disaster in the end of the fight.
That was the end right there. Ismail Arvin wins in the 5th round by knockout. Standing by with the winner is Jon Shannon. Jon.
Ishmael, highlight reel uppercut there at the end, polished off your opponent. Tell me how you set it up.
I was just working my jab like my corner tell me to. I saw that I got him hurt. He tried to hold me, so I'm just trying to back up, give myself a little room to throw some punches. I caught him with a good uppercut I've been working on in the gym. He was good. He was crafty, like you say. He was all right. He was a tough guy. He took a lot of good punches.
Tell us about the cut over your eye. Was it an unintentional headbutt? How'd you get it?
I think it was a headbutt. We was bumping heads a lot in this fight, man.
After a little confusion, the cornermen really got things together. The blood stock didn't seem to cause any problem. Okay, Ismail Arvin, this is one of the rising prospects in the Mid-Atlantic region. We're going to see more of him back here in the ballroom. Let's go back to ringside to Larry and Jon.
Jon Shannon, more ballroom boxing excitement coming up. Don't go away. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing. Interesting matchup in the ring. Rogelio Martinez against George Armenta. There he is, George Armenta, the power puncher from Silver Spring, Maryland. Jon Shannon, take a look at this fight, Martinez and Armenta.
Well, I talked to Armenta before the fight, and he said, Larry, that he is in better shape than he was the last time we saw him here in the ballroom, and I thought he was the best looking, the best conditioned guy in the whole room. So he must be really raring to go right now. Like you said, good power puncher. He's a little slow, but you do not want to trade hooks with this guy. Devastating left hook. I've heard that Martinez is a pretty tough customer, but hasn't fought the quality of opposition that Armenta has. He's fought guys more with losing records in building his 9-3-1 slate. So we're going to see if Martinez is able to step up here. I'm looking for Armenta to get him out.
All right, thank you much. Let's go to Pat O'Malley and get it on.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for more ballroom boxing? The Maryland State Athletic Commission Chairman Carl M. Milligan Jr., Executive Director Patrick Ranello, and ballroom boxing promoters Scott and Michael Wagner, matchmaker Chris Middendorf, and Director of Boxing Operations Dave Wilkerson present this 8-round bout in the junior middleweight division. Your referee in charge is Kenny Chevalier. Judging the bout, Gary Campaneschi, John Gradowski, and Bill Holmes. Introducing the boxers. First to my left, out of the red corner, wearing the red trunks with white trim, weighing 156 pounds. He hails from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. His record, 9-3-1, 5 via the KO. Please welcome Rogelio El Cuco, which means the Monster Martinez. To my right, out of the blue corner, wearing the black and red trunks, weighing 154 pounds. He is from Silver Spring, Maryland, with a record of 6-2, 5 KOs. Please welcome George El Gallo, the Rooster Armenta.
It's the Rooster against the Monster, Jon Saraceno. Let's listen to Kenny Chevalier's instructions. First of all, we got to get the poncho and sombrero off the head of Silver Spring, Maryland's George Armenta.
Look here, I'm going to do translating myself. Look, I want a clean break. Watch the low blows. I don't want that head used in the wrong way. Sabata sin Olympia. No go past bajo. No use la cabeza mal. Comprende? Bien. Touch these up. Let's go.
Bilingual instructions from Kenny Chevalier and Jon Saraceno. Can you give us a bilingual look at the matchup?
See. No, I'm not going to try to top that. But I tell you what, junior middleweights, tall, two tall guys. Martinez 5'11", Armenta 5'10". The rest of the numbers fairly even and speak for themselves.
Yep, we are set. And a sidebar to this is that George Armenta, as we talked about, lost a couple fights, so on a pretty good roll right now. Has won his last couple by way of knockout, but Rogelio Martinez might be looking ahead. He has already signed for a fight in 3 weeks for the Pennsylvania State Championship. So taking a risk facing George Armenta here tonight.
Well, he would be if he were to be knocked out or cut badly.
Looking at this fight as a tune-up fight. And tell you what, John, this is the best condition we've ever seen George Armenta in.
He usually comes in pretty good shape. And, you know, he took this fight seriously against Martinez.
Martinez's record, 9-3-1, 5 wins by knockout, but he lost last time out to a man we're familiar with, Charles Clark. That fight coming in 2001, March of 2001. So Martinez has not been very active, while El Gallo, the Rooster, Armenta, has been.
Every time I see El Gallo, I think of Los Manos de Piedra a little bit.
They got the scruffy beard.
In his younger days, younger and lighter days.
Now, people forget that Duran started as a lightweight, didn't he?
Yeah. A lot of people might argue with this, but I thought he was the best lightweight ever, certainly in the top 2.
Yeah, nice footwork by George Armenta to step aside Martinez. Good body shot by Armenta. Fight is scheduled for 8 rounds.
Nice right hand by Armenta. Followed up with a left hook there.
All of Martinez's losses have come by way of decision. He's never been stopped. 5 knockouts out of 9 wins.
Armenta, fine prospect, only 27 years old. Learning his lessons here in the Ballroom Series. Excuse me, 25.
You guys get up there in age like you, John. What's a couple years?
Always lie about your age.
Nice right hand by Martinez. Once again, a very, very competitive matchup here. Both men within the same skill sets. And you can see right now, hard to tell who's leading this fight here as round 1 wears on. Armenta's got power, 5 of 6 wins by way of knockout. Nice left hand by Armenta as round 1 comes to a close here in the Ballroom. We'll be back.
Stop!
Round 2 underway in the ballroom. Larry Michael with Jon Saraceno. Great to be with you for ballroom boxing action tonight. Ballroom boxing seen coast to coast on a variety of satellite channels and worldwide, in fact, in Europe, Africa, and Asia. So we are worldwide in our forces. Broadcast as well. In the ring right now, George Armenta out of Silver Spring, Maryland. Black trunks with the red trim going up against Philadelphia's Rogelio Martinez. Good overhand right by Armenta. Scores. Ripping body shots by Armenta score. Well, Armenta's bringing it to the body right now, John.
He is, because he knows that's where it starts, or it should start. In a lot of cases with fighters, they neglect that. Sometimes it's because they're afraid when they go downstairs they're going to expose their own head and get hit. So they'd rather not take a chance. Armenta, I think he learned a lot in that Yuri Foreman fight.
Nice uppercut inside by Armenta.
Even though that was a loss to Yuri Foreman, he came away from that fight a better fighter, more experienced. He got 8 professional fights. It's his 5th fight in 2002. He's very active. Needs to keep that kind of a pace again for next year.
Martinez trying to tie him up. Armenta starting fast here in round 2. Changing body shots, these guys, with bad intentions. John, you look at the pace of this fight, and you look at the record of Martinez. Has not fought since March of 2001, over a year and a half ago. Is that going to come into play in this fight?
Well, it shouldn't if he's been training properly.
Armenta bringing it again to the body. Martinez trying to counter punch off the ropes.
But you're never going to be as sharp in the ring on a real fight. If you were, you know, being more active, you can't replicate all that stuff in the gym. So it's possible. How's that for total equivocation?
I'll tell you what, you're straddling that fence very nicely, John.
Hey, both of you holding,
You should have been born a hurdler.
Might as well ride that fence next time. Tell you what I like about Armenta is obviously got a lot of punching power. Doesn't go overboard though. Very patient fighter. Nice left hand on the inside by Martinez as round 2 comes to a close in the ballroom. Welcome back to the ballroom action from round 2. Armenta having Martinez up against the ropes. I want to bring in John Scheinman quickly. Who is winning this close fight after 2, John Scheinman?
Nobody. 19-19 on my scorecard. Armenta started that round really strong. I thought he won the first 2/3 of it. But I'll tell you something, Martinez, a nice fighter. He really started to dig shots underneath Armenta, working to the body, reestablished command in the last minute there. It's a tough fight.
Sure is. Martinez does look strong in there right now, Jon Saraceno.
He does. That was a close round. I gave it to Armenta by the thinnest of margins. But this is a what you call a real fight, a live fight here in the ballroom.
Armenta dives in with the left hand. Armenta moving a little bit more in this round, Jon Saraceno. Oh, nice crunching short right hand by Armenta. Armenta, a lot more movement, John.
Well, he knows how to get on his toes and box. I mean, he's really a boxer puncher. Good left hook by Armenta on the inside.
Armenta from nearby Silver Spring, Maryland will be acknowledged for each and every punch by the crowd. And you got to watch that if you're the referee or the judges, not to let the crowd reaction steer you one way or the other.
Remember, it's effective aggressiveness, landing punches, harder blows that get credit.
Break out of there clean. Come on now.
See Martinez in there with a little elbow on the inside, a veteran. Martinez, 28 years old, from Philadelphia.
This has turned into a real chess match. And you see Armenta now on his toes in the third round. Giving Martinez a different look.
Yeah, the pace of this fight is changing, John. Martinez beginning to stalk a little bit Armenta.
Well, he's done a good job of going downstairs here in the last round and a half, has Martinez. And that's made Armenta move a little bit more. But you can still score points while you're punching, even when you're moving backwards.
Armenta continues to move from side to side. Martinez continues to pursue. And again, this is one of these rounds, depends on what you like. If you like the man moving, then like the man going forward. You take your pick, really.
Well, a good body shot by Martinez. Not all those punches Martinez is throwing are landing, but enough of them are to probably win this round.
Seems that Martinez is breaking Armenta down just a little bit here in this third round. And you know, this fight is scheduled for 8 rounds.
Arvin's gone 6 rounds 3 times. Excuse me, Armenta has gone 3 rounds, 6 rounds 3 times in his career. I'll get it straight, Larry.
Okay, buddy. We'll cover for you. Round 4 is underway. And again, you look at the activity of George Armenta over 2002 versus Rogelio Martinez, who has not fought since March of 2001. You might think that by the end of this fight, Martinez would be worn down. Right now, Martinez looking a bit more fresh.
He doesn't look like a guy who's had a layoff at all.
John Scheinman, how do you have this fight scored, buddy?
I agree with you. Martinez ahead 29-28. I think Armenta is surprised by the hand speed of Martinez, and not only the hand speed, but he's using that speed to go to the body. And that last round where Armenta was dancing around a lot, that's not in his favor. He needs to be standing there counterpunching because the left hook is his best shot.
So Scheinman has Martinez up by a point. How do you have it scored, Jon Saraceno?
Well, I've got Armenta up by a point because I gave him that second round.
He's so close it is, though.
Yeah. Hey, this fight is anybody's right now. But John is right in that Martinez has robbed Armenta of some of his aggressiveness.
The tide has turned here in favor of Martinez, and we're going to have to see if Armenta has the ability to switch it back again.
Martinez gets a little sloppy sometimes on his fundamentals and throws his punches a little bit wide. If Armenta can counter those up the middle, it could give him another avenue to score points.
Armenta continues to move. He continues to punch. He has not slowed down, really.
Well, Armenta's made an adjustment this round. He's got off his toes, and he's giving Martinez some angles, but he's punching in combination. So he's trying to stay busier and keep Martinez at bay.
Martinez scored with a straight right hand right on the jaw of Armenta.
When you're punching, the other guy can't punch back as much or is discouraged from punching as much.
And there is some blood now for the mouth of George Armenta.
Good shot underneath by Martinez. He keeps digging away at the body.
It's what his corner wanted, John.
And that's been a staple for him in his fight. But really, he doesn't really know how to cut Armenta off. He's following him. Should be stepping over and cutting the ring off. Martinez, very busy puncher himself. He's thrown a lot of shots tonight. They've not all connected, but he's been active.
Tight fight in the ballroom tonight. We're halfway through. Fifth round underway here in the ballroom. Larry Michael with Jon Saraceno, John Scheinman as well. George Armenta in the black trunks with the red trim going against Rogelio Martinez. Very, very tight fight. The flow has gone both ways for these guys. Martinez has taken the play the last couple of rounds, John.
Well, I've got Armenta leading the fight 3-1, but I wouldn't quarrel if somebody had it even. And I think Martinez has come back from a slow start and is certainly in the fight.
Martinez trying to draw Armenta up against the ropes and counterpunching. Nice left hand inside by Armenta, scores, and a counter left by Martinez. Nice combination by Armenta. But this is such a tight fight, John. You get the feeling it could go right down to the final round.
It certainly shapes up that way. Armenta's got to remember to move his head and not be so stationary, particularly when he finishes punching. He's got to get out of there. Martinez is fighting a very strategic fight. He really is.
Trying to time Armenta with the right hand. Everyone in the ballroom can see it.
Yeah, it's almost as if Martinez is saying, go ahead and punch first. I want a counter punch.
Left hand by Martinez, clips the side of the head. Oh, that body shot took a lot out of Armenta right there. You saw him just stop in his tracks.
Right around his hip area, and that'll slow a fighter down very quickly.
Armenta seems to have shaken it off. A straight left hand by Armenta right on the lips of Martinez.
But you see Armenta moving away now, Larry, after that body shot. He's not going to win the fight doing that.
That was one mean body shot, I'll tell you what.
Martinez continuing to stalk Armenta and being very patient, fighting him from the outside. When he can come inside and throw a combination, he tries to.
Said Armenta had some power. The latest he's never ever knocked anyone out is the 4th round. And we are here in round 5 right now as it winds down.
I wouldn't say Armenta's a great puncher, I'd say he's a sharp puncher.
Good round for Rogelio Martinez, scoring to the body in the ballroom. Welcome back to the ballroom. Larry Michael with Jon Saraceno. Round 6 underway through 5 rounds. John Scheinman, how do you have it scored?
Well, I know Jon Saraceno's got Armenta ahead, but I have Rogelio Martinez really pulling away here. I got him up 49-46. I think at this point, signing that for that title fight in Pennsylvania 3 weeks from now looks like a pretty good idea. He's really hurt Armenta to the body. He's been faster than him, crisper, and he's just had him on his heels the whole time, Larry. I don't see how you can give Armenta the past 3 rounds, any of them.
Tight fight, no doubt about it. When you have disagreement on scorecards, you know that judges see things differently as well, but I have to agree with Jon Scheinman that over the last couple of rounds, Martinez has taken the fight right to Armenta.
And I've given Martinez 2 of the last 3 rounds.
Armenta continuing to move. Armenta needs something good to happen right now to turn the tide for him. You wonder if Armenta has the power at this point to hurt Martinez.
Oh, I was just about to say, I don't know if he has the power to discourage Martinez enough. That's been the key, I think. Martinez just keeps moving forward, and his body punching downstairs, I think, has really taken out a lot out of George Armenta in this fight. And now Armenta's starting to get clipped to the head. He's not moving his head at all. His corner, Armenta, they wanted him to jab more, double up. Wow.
Straight right hand. Beating Armenta to the punch. Martinez scoring.
Armenta's not using that jab. He's just moving away.
Oh, another great body shot by Martinez. You can hear the thump here at ringside.
Martinez has taken over this fight. There is no question about that.
A pretty severe swelling under the left eye of George Armenta right now.
Armenta's punching power noticeably subdued. Maybe a little mouse under the left eye of Armenta. Some swelling there. But Armenta almost fighting to survive right now in this round.
He is indeed, and Martinez looks like he's getting stronger.
Martinez going nowhere.
Nice left hook by Martinez. Blood from the mouth of Armenta. Armenta getting busted up here in this round. See, the punching of Armenta has lost a lot of starch.
Yeah, it all began with that body work downstairs in the second or third round.
Round coming to a close. Martinez growing in strength as the fight wears on. Armenta struggling. More to come. Round 7 underway. This fight is scheduled for 8 rounds. So we'll see if George Armenta has anything left. Taking a pretty good beating the last couple rounds from Martinez.
George Armenta's got to know that he's behind in this fight. And now you see him fighting more out of desperation, which increases the chances he'll get caught and maybe hurt. But it's a chance he's going to have to take at this point. He's going to have to be a lot more aggressive.
Armenta being hurt to the body by Martinez. You can see the arms and elbows coming in and low by Armenta, and Martinez might try to go upstairs now.
Armenta just doesn't seem to have quite the energy level tonight that he's had in previous fights on the Ballroom Boxing Series. Of course, when you get hit to the body like that, that has something to do with it too.
I was going to say he did in the first couple rounds, and Martinez sapped his strength.
Normally a very peppy, aggressive fighter. He's got a nice jab, but tonight he hasn't had the power to really discourage his opponent.
Armenta trying here now to turn the tide. Martinez just appears to be too strong for him.
Well, when he hasn't pinned in on the ropes like that, he's got to take his chances and go in and try to land some big shots here against Martinez. But again, that left hand downstairs by Martinez, that's been his most effective weapon, Larry. Hats off to him. Lost art of body punching. He brought it back here tonight.
Armenta scores with a nice combination. Martinez comes right back. This has been the best round for Armenta over the last 3-4 rounds, but still really not doing any damage. A little blood now from the mouth of Martinez.
And you see Armenta moving away again.
Oh, solid combination. Right-left combination. And Armenta goes down in a heat.
Get your hands up, man.
That may be more fatigued than anything. His body has been ravaged by Martinez. Huge round for Martinez.
And Armenta trying to stay away. He was shocked by that combination. That left eye getting worse. Just trying to survive.
Armenta in desperate trouble here.
Martinez really not pressing the attack, John, though he had Armenta hurt. Nonetheless, a big round for Martinez, round 7, 3 minutes to go in this fight. Corner of George Armenta coming off the canvas in round 7, round 8 still to come, 3 minutes to go. Desperation for George Armenta. Here's what happened in round 7.
You see Martinez continuing to stalk Armenta. Right hand clipped him and the left finished it up as a finishing shot. Down went Armenta.
Neither punch was rock solid, but as a combination, it put Armenta down. John Scheinman, who's ahead? 3 minutes to go.
With a 10-8 round because of the knockdown, now Rogelio Martinez is way ahead on my unofficial card, 69-63. And I just want to, reiterate what Jon Saraceno said. Just a little bit listless look tonight from Armenta. Normally very heavy-handed, wonderful left hook, just doesn't have it tonight. And Martinez has done beautiful body work.
All right. Well, as we said, maybe Martinez has something to do with the way Armenta looks here tonight, John.
Well, you got to give Martinez a lot of credit. I mean, he's not backing into this. We've got him winning the fight. We don't know how it's scored officially, but certainly he's had the right game plan, and it's worked against Armenta.
Armenta's still in there trying to find a way to win the fight.
Well, he should be in full desperation mode at this point. We've got him needing certainly a huge round here, or a knockout to win the fight.
Nice counter by Martinez.
He's countering very well. A smart fighter. Wow, he almost snuck that right hand in on Armenta. That would have been a big shot if he could have landed. Armenta just moved his head at the right time. Very impressed with Martinez.
I am too. Real strong, capable, good puncher, good defense.
There's a little bit of everything.
Another good body shot by Martinez. The body work was the key in this one.
There's no question about that. That's what has won the fight for him, if indeed he wins the fight.
Another big right-hand counter by Martinez. And Armenta really doesn't have much to offer at this point in the fight, John.
And he's just not the kind of puncher I think that's going to maybe take you out of there with one shot, particularly a guy like Martinez.
Both men showing serious signs of fatigue right now as the final round, round 8, wears on. Martinez up against the ropes. This is where Armenta could do some damage, but once again, Martinez just too slick.
Armenta doesn't have enough steam on his punches, Larry, to get it done. He's weary and beat.
See, Martinez has that right arm cocked and ready to fire as this fight comes to a close. Tough battle in the ballroom tonight between Rogelio Martinez and George Armenta. It goes the distance. A lot of leather flew in this one. We'll have the results from the ballroom when we return. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing. The fight, Armenta and Martinez, goes the distance. The only knockdown of the fight came off the combination right there of Rogelio Martinez. Armenta went down, got up quickly, and lasted the fight. So it goes to the judges' scorecards. Pat O'Malley is ready with the decision. Let's see who won.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Before I announce the verdict, how about a fine round of applause for both boxers? Judge Gary Campaneschi scores it 78-73. Judge Holmes scores it 76-75. And Judge Gradowski scores it 77-74. The winner by unanimous decision, Rogelio El Cuco, the Monster Martinez.
No big surprise there. The right decision. Martinez victorious over Armenta tonight, John.
A clear-cut decision. I had him winning by 3 points. I mean, a couple of those rounds were close early on, but there's no question that Martinez executed his game plan perfectly.
Martinez the winner, a well-earned victory. More coming up to the ballroom in a moment, so go away. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing. Larry Michael ringside, a man with us now who knows a little bit about boxing himself. ESPN's Max Kellerman. How you doing, buddy?
If I know so much about boxing, how come I can't pick a fight?
Well, Max, this is your first visit to the ballroom. What are your thoughts on this venue?
It's great. It's great. You know, it's great. It's a sold-out crowd for live boxing nowadays. That's on local TV. Not easy to do. They're doing a great job.
What is the value of this venue to a guy like a Clarence Vincent or a Dante Craig, a former Olympian coming up the ladder, but they elect to come here to the ballroom to test themselves?
It's the lifeblood of the sport. Local promoters putting on competitive shows is the lifeblood of the sport. And then these guys you see on Friday night fights. These are the guys, and then from there you see them on, you know, championship boxing, after dark and championship boxing, and it's the levels of progression, man. You need it.
Max, you do a great job in all that you do. You've got your new show now, of course.
Can we get to the plug?
Can we get to the plug? Tell us about your new show, Max.
First of all, we should plug our video game.
That's right, EA Sports Knockout Kings. Here we go. This is the team, folks.
Oh, I remember calling that Ray Robinson, Ray Leonard fight.
It was a barn burner. Oh, it was a great fight.
All right, the new show, Around the Horn. What, you haven't seen it yet? The promos are everywhere. It's, what can I say? It's a game show meets a talk show meets a video game. I don't know how to describe it. It's a load of fun.
Check it out, folks. Final thing from Max Kellerman. And Max, you tell it like it is all the time. What is the state of boxing today worldwide. I mean, you got a lot of television coverage, more than ever for boxing right now. Where's the state of the sport stand?
I think people inside the boxing industry tend to confuse cynicism with pessimism. Boxing has taught us all to be cynical, but also optimistic. You can be both. They're not mutually exclusive. And the industry has shrunken. Boxing is marginalized, at least in this country, compared to where it used to be.
Right.
But so what? We're going through it's like the NBA. We're going through a golden age right now. Ward and Gaddy, you've seen a better fight than Ward and Gaddy?
No.
Have you seen, the good old days are right now. Just keep that in mind. Right now are the good old days. It's just great. Boxing is in great shape in terms of the actual fights. Too bad not enough people know about it.
You know, Max, you know what I like about you, Max?
I'm laid back.
It is your passion for the sport. Thanks, buddy.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
You're the man. Max Kellerman, check him out on ESPN on a daily basis. More Ballroom Boxing coming up in a moment. Don't go away.
Around the horn, 5 o'clock.
Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing. Time for the main event. And as we said earlier in our open, last time out here in the Ballroom, Darnell Wilson was victorious in impressive fashion, but Dana Rucker spoiled the party. Let's look back at the brewing feud between Dana Rucker and Darnell the Ding-a-ling Man Wilson.
Darnell Ding-a-ling Man Wilson, 9-1-1. Dangerous Dana Rucker, 13-4. Beat for the Maryland State Light Heavyweight title. Last time at the Ballroom, Ding-a-ling defeats Eric Starr in a bone-crushing first-round knockout for his 9th win by KO. Before the ref raised his hand, Dangerous Dana Rucker stormed the ring with a challenge.
Your name is great. The music, awesome. But you ain't ready.
For a guy like that to call me out based on what I've been doing, it tells me something good about myself. So I feel somewhat, it's like a pleasure to hear from him calling me out, because that means I know I'm doing something right.
He challenged me in the dressing room. He said, Dana, I want to fight you because you're the best 175-pounder, which is not true. I've been campaigning at 168 for the longest time. And he get on national television, and he promoted me to the next weight class. He didn't even ask me.
Who will win? The hard-hitting, power-punching Ding-a-ling Man with all 9 of his wins via knockout?
Certainly I will win, whether it be, by knockout or if he somehow luckily crawls his way to the 10th round. I'll point him at any given moment. And of course, if he sits in there, he can hang it up. There's no possible way he can take what I have to offer. I'm the Ding-a-ling Man, come on. I'm the proud owner of the Ding-a-ling Punch.
Or will it be the courageous Dana Rucker with his 13-4 record who will keep on coming no matter how many times you knock him down?
You remember the hell that man put me through? You remember the hell I had to overconquer to get through Bello? Do you remember?
Big right hand by Bello, and down goes Rucker. If you just joining us, Rucker was knocked down, and again he goes down. 3 times Rucker has been absolutely scrambled by the right hand of Bello. Big left hand by Rucker, and down goes Bello. Oh my goodness, what a turnaround.
Let's see if he can go 10 rounds. Can he go 10 rounds? Can he? Can he go 10 rounds? You know he can't go no 10 rounds of hard fight.
And I hope that he gives me the best that he has, because that's what I want. I want to be tested. I want to see what I'm made out of. I want the best possible Dana Rucker that he can bring.
Get ready for the Maryland State Light Heavyweight title at the Ballroom.
Well, there you go, John. A lot of bad blood, a lot of issues between Rucker and the Ding-a-ling Man. When we return, they get it on. Don't go away. Now the time for talk is over. It's time for our main event. Darnell, the Ding-a-ling Man Wilson, and his nemesis, Dana Rucker. They are ready. We are ready. We hope you are ready as well. Let's go to Pat O'Malley.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. It's time now for the main event. And it is for the Maryland State Light Heavyweight Championship. The Maryland State Athletic Commission Chairman Carl Milligan Jr. and Executive Director Patrick Winnell, along with the commissioners at ringside, Bill McCaffrey, Phil Feaster, Michael Arrington and Ben Alperstein, and Ballroom Boxing promoters Scott and Michael Wagner, Director of Boxing Operations Dave Wilkerson, Matchmaker Chris Middendorf, present this 10-round bout for the Maryland State Light Heavyweight Championship. Judging the bout, Kenny Chevalier, Bill Holmes, and Don Risher. Your scorekeeper is John Gradowski, and the man in charge in the ring for this bout when it begins is Malik Waleed. And now, are you ready for more ballroom boxing? Introducing the Warriors for the Maryland State Light Heavyweight Championship. First of all, to my left, out of the red corner, wearing the red trunks, weighing 173 pounds. He's from Baltimore, Maryland, out of the gym of the legendary trainer Mac Lewis. His record, 13-4, 10 via the KO. Please welcome Dana Juris, Dana Rucker. To my right, out of the blue corner, weighing 174 pounds, from Silver Spring, Maryland, with a record of 9-1-1, 9 via the KO. Please welcome Darnell, the Ding-a-ling Man Wilson.
So we are set for our main event. Before we introduce our special guest here at ringside, Malik Waleed will give the official instructions to these two light heavyweights who have had their eyes on each other for quite some time. The Ding-a-ling Man, Darnell Wilson.
All right, let's go, gentlemen.
And Dana Rucker. Let's listen in.
Okay, let's go down here. Okay, fellas, listen up. You both been given the rules. I expect good, clean boxing. When I say break, you both got to stop punching, take a full step back, and remember, protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck to you both.
Quick look at the matchup, John.
Well, the biggest disparity, although you're not going to see it on the tail of the tape, is really the height advantage for Dana Rucker. I can't really believe Darnell Wilson is 5'10".
That's a stretch. One man you don't have to stretch is the big man, Shannon Briggs.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing, my brother?
No, I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Good to have Shannon in here. Shannon, what do you think of this venue, the Ballroom?
Unbelievable. I'm very impressed, man. Very impressed. I'm watching on television, and it's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you, my friend, my sometimes broadcast partner.
There you go.
And we are underway, and you never know with Darnell, the Ding-a-ling Man Wilson, in the black trunks. I understand he's coming into this fight with a bit of a cold, John. Do you think that could be a factor?
It depends if it affected his training and how his breathing is going, but the way he fights, we usually don't know because the fights end too quickly.
Got a fight here, Shannon Briggs, where you have one guy who's a banger, the other guy's a boxer who supposedly has a very weak chin. This is one of those style fights.
Definitely a classic matchup, boxer punches. You gotta love it.
Someone's mouthpiece is out already. That is the Ding-a-ling Man's mouthpiece. Dana Rucker bringing it pretty strong right here in the opening minute of round one.
Tell you what, Darnell Wilson was looking very cocky, snickering, looking over at Rucker before the fight began. His cornermen, of course, good guys, but wearing camouflage pants like they always do. And Dana Rucker just had this quiet confidence about himself in the corner, as if to say, you know what? You may have knocked all these other suckers out, but you haven't fought anybody with my boxing skills. If Dana Rucker can get through these first 6 to 9 minutes, he's got a real chance to win this fight.
I see the same thing, John. He looked very confident Rucker did.
Shannon, what are you doing these days?
Oh, man, just finished filming a movie, Bad Boys 2. We're going to do another one actually in February with Samuel Jackson. Just working, man. Looking to fight again, hopefully real soon, early next year. Staying busy, trying to keep a job.
I know what you're saying. Can't wait to see that movie coming out, Bad Boys 2. When's it out?
Next summer.
All right,
before that, I got to work with you next month.
That's right, buddy.
Exactly.
Say, Saraceno, you better watch out. Is Shannon Briggs a heck of a color commentator?
You take all the jobs out there. By the way, I still think you beat George Foreman.
Oh, good man. Gotta love John.
Yeah, there you go. He's stroking you already.
George didn't like what I had to say that night.
There you go. I remember that.
Ding-a-ling Man just misses a left hand. You see Dana Rucker has those hands held high, and John, got to figure he's got to keep them there against the Ding-a-ling Man.
Well, it's all got to start with the left hand for Dana Rucker. He's got to keep Wilson on the outside. He's got to make Wilson really expend himself early in this fight. Wilson's got a lot of energy, throws a lot of punches, comes out very tightly wound. Let's see how he deals with the pressure.
Longest distance Wilson has ever gone for a decision is 4 rounds. And that was his only loss. He's knocked everybody else out.
Well, at this point, you know, I don't like the fact that Rucker's bending down to his size. You know, he's a taller guy. You know, use the jab and stay on the outside, not bend down.
Yeah, you know, Wilson, you're right. John said he's 5'10". That's a stretch right there. He's more like 5'8".
Exactly.
Why would a fighter do something like that? Any theories?
Be honest with you, can't tell you that one, John. You got me there.
Shannon Briggs is with us here at ringside in the ballroom as the main event is underway, scheduled for 10 rounds. Darnell Wilson in the black trunks.
This is what Rucker shouldn't be doing. He shouldn't be inside. He should be either holding them, tying them up, or standing outside with the jab.
Wilson dives in with a left hand. The end of round 1 here in the ballroom. More action coming up. Welcome back to the ballroom. Larry Michael with Jon Saraceno. It's our pleasure to have Shannon Briggs with us here at ringside. John Scheinman, somewhere in the rafters. Who did you give round 1 to, John?
Tough to see from up here in the rafters, but I gave it on a very slightly to Darnell Wilson. Rucker looked very busy, but I thought the harder shots were landed by Wilson. I gave it to him by slim edge, Larry.
You see Rucker trying to get that jab going, Shannon. That would be a good move, I think, against a guy who's a power puncher like Wilson.
Definitely, definitely. That's right. He just landed a nice jab. He should stick to that. I'll box this guy, you know?
It's got to be the plan for Dana Rucker, Jon Saraceno, is to box, because if he gets within the wheelhouse of Wilson, he's going to go.
Well, you got a power puncher, but he's young, and he's going to expend a lot of energy early. Rucker, of course, has a suspect. It's beyond suspect. It's been proven to be weak. I mean,
China.
Yeah, he's been knocked down in each of the last 3 years. Knocked down. He's been knocked out in 99, 2000, and 2001. So that's what Darnell Wilson's going to try to do.
Bringing some heat right now. Wilson to the body.
Rucker counter with a good left hook, though, inside. I think Rucker's the more experienced guy. I think he's being calm right now, and that's the right thing to do with a guy, especially a big puncher.
Question is, if this fight does drift into the late rounds, what will Wilson have left?
He very well may be in trouble if he doesn't get him out of here inside 5. And this is a terrific test for Darnell Wilson.
Yeah, it is.
Who's blown through everybody.
Exchange of hooks there. Wilson snuck his in. Oh, nice stiff jab right through the defense of Wilson.
I was just about to say that Darnell looks very strong, though, and confident for a young guy. You know, he's trying to land that hook all day.
Mind you, Tyson at all?
He's short.
No doubt about it. Wilson's got that chiseled physique. Dana Rucker, and no slouch in the physique department either.
Definitely.
Neither one of these guys is going to be mistaken for Jon Saraceno.
Both guys in decent shape. Darnell wants to land that hook. He needs to set it up.
Yeah, I mean, he's throwing some wide punches, isn't he?
And he does throw wide punches. That's something he's been working on in the gym. Well, that's one of the things I like about Darnell Wilson. He is a guy who's willing to learn. I don't think he's fallen into the headhunter mentality, but clearly he knows that's his strength, power.
Smart guy, computer analyst in his spare time, actually his profession.
If Dana Rucker could frustrate him more on the inside by grabbing and holding when necessary, he's going to make it a much more difficult fight, don't you think, Shannon?
I totally agree with you, John. If he was to do that, hold the guy, tie him up till later rounds, you know, use that jab.
Left hand scores for the Dingling man in the closing moments. And Rucker's legs beginning to deceive him as the bell ends round 2. Back with more in the ballroom after a break. Welcome back to the ballroom. This, of course, is Shannon Briggs, one of the top-rated heavyweights out there. Larry Michael and Jon Saraceno. It's great to have Shannon in the house here in Michael's 8th Avenue, brother.
Thank you.
You know we love you. Just looking back at some action from round 2 as the Dingling man rocked Rucker at the end of the round, Shannon. Let's see if he can follow up here.
Well, we said early in the fight, before the fight began, the first 9 minutes were going to be key for Dana Rucker to survive. And there were some shades in that end of that second round that Wilson was getting a lot closer to landing that home run shot.
Definitely. He shortened up the distance between the guys, and that's what he has to do to win this fight.
So Rucker's got to have his hands moving. He can't be resting with that jab against this guy.
I think Rucker's relying on his experience, catching the punches, and like we said, taking to the later rounds. Hoping that this guy punches himself out.
See, there you see the inexperience of Darnell Wilson. When he throws his shot and he misses, he leaves himself wide open. He's a little off balance.
Definitely.
Wilson huffing and puffing. We heard he had a cold coming in, and that might affect his stamina as the fight wears on.
Well, we hope not. Yeah, this is a matchup that a lot of people here have been talking about, waiting for a long time to happen.
Waiting for this one. A little bit of puffiness under Wilson's right eye. That jab starting to take its toll, Larry.
Yeah, no doubt about it. See Wilson fighting with his mouth hanging open.
Yeah. He looks a little tired.
Yep,
he's doing some big shots too.
Wild shots, and they're not on the mark.
And they take a lot of energy out of you. Right, Shannon?
Definitely.
When you miss.
Yeah. Believe me, I know for first-hand experience.
Should Wilson be going to the body a little bit here? He just headhunting with
That's
the
all
hooks
he should
right
be
now.
doing at this point, you know, going for the body. I think Rucker's going to actually, I don't like to pick him, especially when we commentate, but I think Rucker's going to wear this guy out.
That eye, the right eye, is starting to bother Darnell Wilson underneath. He's blinking a lot. It's starting to swell and close ever so slightly. Dana Rucker's got to keep that good, stiff left-hand jab, double up on it, try to throw the right hand behind it.
This is just experience right here. You know, 2 little short shots inside.
There's no doubt about it, that right eye of Wilson beginning to turn ugly. And Rucker's going to target it. Big uppercut by the Dingling man. Rucker fighting back nicely.
Well, he didn't quite get him with the full effect of that uppercut. Otherwise, Dana, I think, would have been in some trouble there.
I don't know, man. I think Rucker might have had a chin transplant because he took some good shots early. And look at that eye. Look at that eye of Wilson.
Yeah, it is blowing up a little bit.
Exactly. It ain't looking good.
And it almost looks, it's swelling up. But I was saying, there's so much redness, almost looked like it was bleeding. But
above and below the eye, he's got swelling.
Yeah, Rucker's got to get going on that jab again.
Looks like the kind of thing that could swell a man's eyes shut.
Definitely.
Well, you can just see the inexperience on Darnell Wilson.
He started too fast.
Yeah.
You see that? Those big leaps.
He's going to follow Darnell Wilson to his corner as Charles Mooney is his trainer. Let's listen in.
You gotta get it back. How you gonna get it back? It's W jab. They throw it straight down the middle. On the inside, it won't pop, pop on the inside. He's looking for what you're doing. He's looking for what you've been trying to do. He's looking for you to slow it down. He don't know about your speed that you have introduced him to. I want you to introduce your speed on him, okay?
Round 3 as Dana Rucker found a rhythm in round 3.
Well, it began with the left hand, but he also hit him with some other shots. You see the uppercut missing by Darnell Wilson. Punching very wide, not effective.
Wilson's just trying too hard, way too hard.
He may be feeling some pressure too, Shannon.
Definitely.
He realizes he's been the star here in a sense, the Ballroom Boxing Series, and you know, he talked some smack.
Yeah. And now you got to back it up.
Now, I actually like both these guys, and it's going to be, you know, at least personally, kind of sad to see anybody lose.
Rucker beating him to the punch right now, Shannon.
Very stiff jab. I'm impressed with the way Rucker keeps his hands up.
He knows he's got to be on his P's and Q's tonight.
Definitely. I think what he did after the last couple of fights, he went home and tightened up his defense.
Did indeed. Rucker moving nicely right now as well.
Dana Rucker's been around. He's an experienced fighter, and he's not a fighter without skills.
Exactly.
And with that chin transplant, he's got it all now. Actually, Dana does have a lot of talent. Great amateur career. And really, you know, if you hit anybody right, they're going to go.
Exactly. I like what Dana doing on the side, those little short uppercuts.
And just a wild shot there by the Dingling man, whose eyes continues to swell. The right eye, I should say, continues to swell.
This is a gut check time, really, for Darnell Wilson. We're going to find out a lot about him as a professional fighter tonight. He's got to come back here, and he's going to have to really do it in kind of a dramatic fashion. He's digging himself a hole.
I agree with you there on that, John. He's a little behind right now.
mentally, too, what's happening here.
Definitely. Missing those big shots ain't helping.
Oh, there's the big left hand by the Dingling man, and it rocks Rucker's world. Rucker's a little shaky-legged right now, trying to hold on, and he's doing the right thing in retreating.
Definitely. He has that experience. He was definitely hurt with that shot, though.
Another left hand scores. There's a lot of time left in this round. Question is here, does Wilson punch himself out? Looking for the uppercut scores. And the overhand right down goes Rucker.
He's hurt. He's hurt. He's hurt.
6, 7.
Rucker gets up at the count of 6.
You all right? Ready to go? Okay.
Wilson wants to bring it now. Let's see if he does. Wilson just chasing him around right now. Oh, headbutt there as Rucker leads with the head.
Wilson almost went out of the ring.
Oh! Nice comeback shot.
Beautiful shot by Rucker with the left hand.
Well, Wilson's getting careless because he just wants to blow him out because the guy's hurt.
Exactly. Nice jab.
And Wilson's exhausted, Shannon.
Exactly.
And that's that experience factor again.
You see that? You gotta love ballroom boxing. Wilson's exhausted. Look at that. And the eyes closing up.
What a round.
Oh
what a
God.
round.
I love this.
The fans loving this. The main event living up to the hype.
Definitely.
Looking back at action from round 4.
A huge round for Wilson. Got to be a 10-8 round. You saw how he hurt Rucker with those shots to the head.
It was definitely an uppercut, though. Early in the round here with an uppercut, that was a
Yeah, we missed that.
Yeah, it was a great punch.
Now
There it is. It grazed him, but it hurt him.
And a follow-up right hand,
Definitely.
and down goes Rucker on one knee, but he survived the round and actually had Wilson a little bit staggered near the end of it.
Yeah, he turned it around, John, and we're still just in the 5th round. This fight is scheduled for 10 rounds. Shannon Briggs is with us here at ringside in the ballroom. Check in with John Scheimer for the scorecard. John, how do you have it scored?
38-37, Darnell Wilson. Right, John, he gets the 10-8 round there, and the fight's playing out exactly as we expected it, Larry. It's the chin versus the punching power and Dana Rucker's boxing skills. What I think this fight's going to come down to, though, is left hooks, because at heart, Dana Rucker is a slugger, and I think he's going to turn that before the fight goes over, and he's just going to have to be able to survive in trench warfare.
I've got the fight scored also, 38-37 for Wilson.
On the strength of that knockdown.
Yes.
Look at that jab by Rucker. Nice work.
Tripled up on it. Wilson still throwing those home run punches. It only takes one. We know Dana Rucker's record when it comes to getting hit with big shots. Julian Letterlow knocked him out in the 3rd round in 1999. He was stopped by Derek Whitley the following year in the 1st round. And then last year, Etienne Whitaker stopped him in 7. And also, he fought Osvaldo Bello here. Remember, Larry, in 1999, was down 3 times. It could have stopped the fight at any time, and he ended up winning that fight.
Shannon Rucker has completely taken the tempo in this round.
You got to love it. This guy's using his experience to outbox this young kid. You got to love that, man.
And Wilson really looking tired with his mouth open. We haven't seen the Dingling man in the deep water. And he's going there tonight.
I think that if Dana was to go to the body of Wilson, this fight might be over. Because Wilson is exhausted.
He is. Look at his mouth just wide open. He's hurting right now.
He's expended a lot of energy trying to knock him out in that last round, and he almost did it.
Definitely.
Now Rucker boxing nicely and taking the pace away.
I mean, you could almost envision, Shannon, that Rucker just using his left hand here with Wilson being tired, unless he's able to get back in and land one of those shots, Rucker could outbox him the rest of the way and win a decision.
You're right, John. That was a nice right hand by Rucker, too.
Rucker with the quicker hands right now. Wilson's guard is down.
Jab, and a nice stiff jab. I think Wilson might be hurt.
He is hurt. That eye is
Exactly.
really bothering
I think he might
him.
be hurt.
It's a big round for Dana Rucker on the strength of the jab. Look at him dominating it with that left hand.
Nice.
Wow, big round for Dana Rucker. Back with more from the ballroom in a moment. Looking back action from round 5 as we reach the midway point in this fight. Dana Rucker's jab becoming the dominating weapon in this fight. Now Wilson, Shannon Briggs, looks like he's regrouped between rounds.
Well, I hope so, because he was fading at the end of the round. I actually thought he was hurt by Rucker at the end, towards the end of the round.
I agree with you. That eye is bothering him. Only knockdown in the fight came earlier as Rucker went down after the combination by Wilson.
Dana Rucker using that left hand, but kind of reluctant to throw the right hand behind it.
You know, it's funny, John. I've been saying, sitting here thinking to myself, this guy was throwing right hand. He might end this fight.
And tell our viewers why he's reluctant, you think, to probably throw that right.
To get countered by a left hook.
He's afraid he's going to miss, and Wilson's going to club him with that left hook, and it's going to be over.
Exactly.
Wilson, oh, nice stiff jab again by Rucker. Wow. Just a jackhammer jab. Wilson fighting at the range that Rucker wants him to be at.
At this point, Wilson should be trying to get inside and hit the body of Rucker and wear him down. He hurt him. He should go back to the uppercut and left hook. And he's reaching right now. That's going to get him in a lot of trouble.
He's leaving his arm out there completely wide open.
Definitely. Pouring with the jab. He should be stepping behind his jab and getting inside. This is where he does most of his damage.
Well, he's not going to win this fight outboxing Dana Rucker from the outside.
No, that's not going to happen.
But he does have to try to jab his way on the inside, as you mentioned. He's got to try to do some boxing, because winging punches with wild abandon, while you're going to clip them once in a while, and it may only take one shot with Dana, he expended a lot of energy.
Exactly.
Rucker really working that jab. What a good punch tonight for Dana Rucker.
And Darnell could benefit from a little more side-to-side movement, too.
Now, Darnell Wilson can carry a little bit of power into the later rounds. He's got a couple knockouts in the 6th round in his career.
It's going to be a challenge.
Well, you know, Rucker knew what he was doing evidently when he called him out.
That's exactly right.
He's seen something, you know?
It's the boxing ability of Rucker showing through right now. But again, Wilson scored the only knockdown of the fight with the combination putting Rucker down earlier.
You know, we can't count Wilson out. He's a puncher. He's a young guy who's, you know, can turn this around with one punch.
Exactly right.
Exactly.
The body shot by Wilson. Want to welcome those watching Ballroom Boxing around the world. In Africa, Asia, Europe, and coast to coast on the Dish Network, Satellite TV, Direct TV, and several cable outlets. Thanks to the folks at Comcast Sportsnet, our flagship in Washington, D.C. Another good round for Dana Rucker. Boxing that in away here in the Ballroom. More to come. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing. Larry Michael with Jon Saraceno. Also with us ringside, Shannon Briggs.
Yes, sir.
John Scheinman, how do you have this fight scored through 6 rounds?
Well, since Darnell Wilson scored the knockdown in the 4th, I gave Rucker the next 2 rounds. I have him ahead now, 57-56 on my unofficial card. And I have to tell you, I'm a little surprised at how this fight's unfolding. I just have always felt that Rucker was a slugger at heart, and that he would wade in and try to get rid of Darnell Wilson, and he hasn't. He's been boxing beautifully, working behind the left jab. Outstanding performance so far, but still a very close fight, Larry.
All right, John, in the right eye of Darnell Wilson. Almost swollen shut. They've done a pretty good job of keeping that eye open, John.
They have used that Enswell device in there. They've used a very experienced corner. They know how to use it. And you're right, he's able to see out of it.
Still a long way to go in this fight, however. 7th round is scheduled for 10.
Boy, those jabs of Dana Rucker stopping Wilson dead in his tracks.
What should Wilson do to get away from that jab, Shannon?
He just, oh my God. Nice shot.
Another left. The left hand dominating the action right now.
I think Wilson was hurt by that. I think that Wilson should be double jabbing. The double jab is way inside and stay there. Don't let this guy off the hook. He knows this guy doesn't have a great chin. Work it, you know?
And he's got to try to rough him up.
Exactly.
He's being way too polite.
Exactly.
Good body shot by Wilson.
His corner should be telling him, listen, stay as close as you possibly can.
Wilson not letting his hands go. I believe fatigue could be setting in a little bit here.
Definitely.
That body shot, a good shot, but really not a thundering punch.
And it's funny you say that, Larry. He should be going to the body and trying to slow Rucker down from moving. It's a nice body shot right there.
Going to the body a little bit now, Shannon.
Definitely.
And Rucker doesn't want to be in a corner.
Small trouble.
Rucker, though, on his toes, using the jab. Question to be, will Rucker be able to keep this pace up himself? Through
Nice
10 rounds. Right hand by Wilson. Wilson is closing the distance. Double hook inside by Rucker.
Sweet. I think he stole that one from Roy Jones.
And Wilson is right there in front of Rucker.
And Wilson.
Uppercut by Rucker scores. Wilson getting beat up a little bit right now.
Yeah, definitely.
But he is game, though.
Definitely.
I mean, he knows it only takes one shot, and he's trying to land it.
You got to love this kid.
A lot of heart.
It's exactly.
I mean, Rucker's throwing everything he has right now here in round 7. And Wilson is exhausted right now. He needs a second win. Rucker elusive as ever. Back with more from the ballroom in a moment.
Hey, peace. How you too, buddy?
Corner of Darnell Wilson really telling him truth to his face. You gotta go after it. And exactly that is the case. Larry Michael ringside with Jon Saraceno and Shannon Briggs. Action in the ring. Round 8 is underway.
And I think Wilson does have the spirit, heart, and determination to try to knock Dana Rucker out. He knows he can do it. And I think you're going to see a great finish to this fight.
Definitely. I'm impressed with both guys. Rucker for changing up his game plan and being a good boxer, and Wilson for just showing so much heart and determination.
Well, this fight was heavily promoted and is living up to the promotion.
That's a fact.
Both guys really giving it everything they got. Rucker controlling it from the midway point of this fight up to this point with the jab. Corner of Wilson was telling him you don't have time to reload. You've got to fire. What do you think they meant by that, Shannon?
Get off first, get inside, and stop waiting, looking for a bomb.
Rucker again up against the ropes. Wrong place to be. Big combination. And down goes Rucker. The dingling man rings the bell of Dana Rucker, who gets up and his legs are rubbery.
They are not there.
This is what you got when you fight the dingling man. Immense power.
And he's a terrific finisher.
Is he? Oh, man. This guy needs to...
Rucker in deep trouble. His hands are down, trying to hold on. Down he goes again. Rucker struggling to get up. Is he going to get up? Just at the count of 8, this fight is over.
It's over. It's over.
The dingling man with a come-from-behind knockout win over Dana Rucker. Impressive performance by the dingling man.
You gotta love that. Ballroom boxing, baby.
what a comeback.
Hey,
Shannon Briggs, thanks so much for being
thanks
part
for
of
having
our
me,
night.
man. I appreciate it. This was a great one.
And I will see you soon, brother.
This one's going in my catalog.
There you go, buddy.
There you go.
Come back anytime.
Thanks, guys.
Shannon Briggs, the one and only, witnessing a dynamic comeback by Dana Rucker. Wow, Dana Rucker is okay, and the dingling man came back. Dingling man comes over to us at ringside and says he's raw, but he's learning.
Well, he learned the hard way tonight because Dana Rucker was outboxing him. And Darnell Wilson knows that. He knows he's not a complete package. But what a rally. There's the right hand, the big left. The right hand hurt him. Dana Rucker was very game, though. He's been down many times in his career, always gets back up and tries to make a fight of it. But tonight, Darnell Wilson just too strong, too determined for Dana Rucker.
Pat Pinella is ready. He just spoke to Pat O'Malley, Pat Pinella of the Maryland Commission. Pat O'Malley now with the official time of this victory for the dingling man.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. The winner,
Darnell, the Ding-a-ling Man Wilson.
To present the Maryland State Light Heavyweight title belt, Phil Feaster, Commissioner of the Maryland State Athletic Commission.
And it was well earned, wasn't it, John?
Well, Wilson had to dig himself out of a hole. Terrific work by his corner, keeping him in the fight, and just a magnificent victory for Darnell Wilson.
Yeah, you know, he looked like the chips were down for him, getting peppered with that jab throughout the middle rounds, but somehow he finds the power to put an end to it. Darnell Wilson, the winner of our main event. More coming up to the ballroom after a timeout. Ballroom Boxing is brought to you by Toyota, by Budweiser, the King of Beers, by Michael's 8th Avenue, a host for grand occasions, and by BallroomBoxing.com. A dynamic performance by the Ding-a-ling Man. Let's see what he has to say with Jon Scheinman. To the ring we go.
Darnell, tell us how you pulled the fight out. You really looked like you were fading there down the stretch.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, I was in absolute tremendous shape, okay? This guy's been around. He's done a few things that, even though I had excellent, due diligence in my training in the gym, still some things he did, being an excellent boxer, sort of bothered me, but it's all mental errors. I'm a much better boxer than that.
Well, he was the boxer tonight. Dana Rucker really worked the jab, especially after your knockdown in the 4th round. He got up on the bicycle. What kind of adjustments did you have to make to get back in the bout?
Well, number one, I can't believe how silly I went after him after I heard him swinging wildly at the head. I know better than that. I mean,
so why did you do it?
Silly mental errors. I mean, I can't wait to redeem that performance, but I want to be champion so bad. A lot of people who watch me, they like me and I love them, but I want everybody to realize I just started getting in this game a couple of years ago,
Did you learn something about yourself in this fight?
I learned how to keep my cool. I was trying to force things to happen, and you can't do that. I got to let it go with the flow. Just like I train, but when you're in an actual fight, this guy, he's a good boxer, but I could out-jab him. When I use my jab, I out-jab him. But I went away from it like a fool, but you know what? I'm going to prove that I'm a much better boxer than that.
Let's talk to your trainer a second. Sergeant Mooney,
Darnell's mother's coming in the ring.
Charles, tell us about what you think of the performance. Is he ready to take the next step, or does he still have work to do?
We still have work to do. He's still a young fighter. I tell you what, endurance and self-preservation and that energy that he has, I had doubt for a second, to be honest, but I knew that he was a strong-willed person, and it takes the will to win, and he has that.
And I got that will to win from my mother right here, a beautiful mom.
Well, here's Darnell Wilson, the new Maryland State light heavyweight champion with his mom. Tremendous comeback victory at the Ballroom. Let's go back to ringside.
Well, that fight certainly lived up to the hype, didn't it, Jon Saraceno?
It really did. Darnell Wilson showed tremendous courage, and unfortunately, Dana Rucker's chin betrayed him.
Sure did. For Jon Scheinman and Jon Saraceno, I'm Larry Michael. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show. We'll see you next time for Ballroom Boxing.